welcome to Creole Trades. This video, I'm going to be going over some trades that I have taken over the week. I already posted one short of the Intel trade, but I did give out a game plan on how I would re-enter that trade, and I executed 2 more times after that. So my total profit on Intel for the week ended up being... it is $1,120 just on Intel alone. And I will post the snippet of that as well. All right, so the first trade I'm going to go over is actually Intel. So as you know, the first trade I made was $427.50. Well, the next day, I got in on 5 contracts for a 40 call at 8.58 on the 6th, and for 125 a piece. And then I sold those the next morning at 8.38 for $224 a piece. And then the trade I took from yesterday to today, I bought 5 contracts for $45 on the 41.5 strike, and I sold those for $90 a piece. So the last trade I actually had a little more meat on the bones, but my trail stop was a little bit too close. So let's go ahead and review those trades. So I told you that I got in here. You can see it was just stabilized all day yesterday. So I got in there. And then on the open of today, this is where I got out. Simply because when I was in the money, I didn't calculate the stop loss correctly based on the ATR. So I got in here, it popped up, I was instantly up. And then that flicker right here on that candle stopped me out. Apparently that was $15 per contract that stop was executed. But if I didn't get stopped out, it would have ripped and ripped and ripped. And ultimately my stop probably would have been here or here. But yeah, Intel was a very lucrative trade, especially when you beat the drum on the week prior. So I love that trade. All right, so the next trade that I got in was a Micron swing, ticker symbol MU. So yesterday, tech was falling a little heavy. But one of the staples in semi right now is Micron, especially with this memory surge that we're having. So top stocks like MU, SNDK, WDC, those things are in high demand right now. So yesterday I saw Micron fall, and I spotted a 30-minute inverse arc. As you can see, I got in here on the early entry. So as soon as it crossed over, I got in. Because really, in actuality, Micron was just testing a 30-minute fair value gap that it made 2 days prior. So I got in early on the 30-minute inverse. I just held it for the rest of the day. And then when the market opened this morning, so we had the surge up, and I had a trail stop, and once again it stopped me out. But this time it was a little more lucrative. So I got stopped out with $350 profit. So I'm not going to complain about making profit. So that was the second trade that I had this week. All right, here's my third trade for January the 9th. This one was a day trade on IWM, aka the small cap stock ETF. So same news that we got earlier this morning. So as you can see, everybody anticipated it, and then everybody reacted. Well, I paired my candlestick knowledge along with the wolf chart to execute this trade as well. So as you can see down here, we have it's almost a hammer candle, which signals reverses. But if you can see right here that you on the 2-minute time frame, you see this is an institutional buying area down here, right? So it overlaps 2 or 3 times, and the 200 MA is coming through as well. So everything was screaming bullish at this pivot point. So I went on the 2-minute time frame instead of the 5-minute time frame like I usually do. It hit the pre-market low and it started to reverse. I confirmed the reverse after we got an inverse arc and an opening close candle above the 12 EMA. That's when I entered the trade. I got 10 contracts for the 260 call. Well, as you can see, we got out at the tip top for that time frame. I only stayed in the trade 9 minutes and made $490. So that one was a maximized trade. If I had done anything differently, I would have rinsed and repeated it, because after it rejected the pre-market high again, it came to the middle zone and retested a fair value gap that it created after I got in, and it created an internal bullish order block. So I would have got in right again after the inverse arc and the lock candle and rode it for another 10 260 calls, rode it up to 261.17, and that would have been even more profit. That probably would have been like $1,000. But yep, that's my third trade and second day trade. Last and not least, here's my final day trade on Tesla. So as you can see, I entered on a 5-minute fair value gap. And let's play this one out so you can see how it looked in real time when I entered. So I entered here on this candle on the 5-minute fair value gap. And yes, I missed the perfect entry on Tesla during the first 30 minutes of the market. But hey, that's what the wolf chart is for. You always can get in, especially on 5-minute fair value gaps. If you're day trading, those are very powerful. Come join the Wolf Empire and you can get those alerts in real time. I'm just saying. So now let's get to this trade. Here we go. So a little drawdown, but it didn't lose the 12 EMA. So I wasn't worried at all. This was a key level to break. And then once I saw it wicked up here, I started to draw my pattern. As you can see, we're going in a rising wedge. Usually these fall out of the wedge to the downside, but the semis were just too strong today. So as you can see, I got stopped out here. And then it kept going for a little bit after and then came back down. So I scalped Tesla for like an hour and some change for $195. Not too shabby. Also, this is how I knew that Tesla would continue going up to the upside, right? So after the liquidity level has been set here, we had a flat WTMA, but as soon as we got this breaker structure, this internal breaker structure, and this order block appeared, we knew that institutions were there defending that area to buy it up. So I never panicked in this trade. Granted, it felt like I was blowing the candles up, like, because Tesla, if you know, you know. All right, that wraps up the trade recap video of the week. If you want to learn more on the Wolf chart system, comment, learn the Wolf chart in the comment section, or hit my DMs on Instagram at Creole Trades. Either way, I'll respond and give you the information that you need. Until next time, peace and love.